Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the Samsung Galaxy A30s. Now this is the S iteration or the next iteration of the A30, and even though it's supposed to be an upgrade, there are a few things which took a hit. I'll give you a quick comparison of the A30 and the A30s at the end. So for now, let's just get on with the unboxing. Oh, by the way, this is a retail phone, so you can buy it both online and offline. And if you buy it in the retail store, you can get a better discount or a better offer. So if you're planning to get it, try it in the retail stores. It's available only in one variant with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It's available in three colors: Prism Crush White, Prism Crush Violet, and finally Prism Crush Black. And we have the white color with us right now. So let's quickly go to unboxing. So guys, this is the box. This is the Samsung Galaxy A30s, and this is what the packaging looks like. Now just a quick note. The packaging of A30s is definitely way better than Samsung A10s, which I've just unboxed. And here's a quick look at that. This feels like a cheap box, and this at least looks like a decent box. Anyway, that's not going to be a huge deal. That's something I've really observed that Samsung has been doing. I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, coming back to the box, at the top it says Samsung and at the bottom it says A30s. And box packaging looks pretty similar to all the latest A series phones. Just like this one we have over here. Now on the left side we have the phone's name, that's the Samsung Galaxy A30s, and on the right side it's completely plain. On the back side we have some of the highlighting features over here, followed by some specifications. Just a quick glance. I'll talk more about the specifications later, so for now let's just go on with the unboxing. That's not supposed to happen. Now we are done. So just like some of the previous Samsung phones, they have the box in the lid. So let me just open it up. This time I guess we also got a free case, which I really appreciate. So here we have it, regional lock code guide, followed by quick start guide. And next we have the warranty card information. Next we have a soft silicone pouch. I'll come back to it later. And that's all we get inside this lid. Now let me just put the phone aside for now. This is the white color and it does look quite premium. Next we have this 15-watt power adapter. Now this phone supports fast charging up to a maximum of 15 watts, and we also get a power adapter inside the box, so that's pretty cool. Next we have free earbuds inside the box, which look pretty horrible, so I will not recommend you to use them. Anyway, it's for free, so you can give them a try. Finally, we have the USB Type-C charging cable. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. Now let me just put everything aside and come back to the phone. So this is how the phone looks with the plastic wrapping. Let me just remove that. It's always much easier to slide it out. We also have this sticker over here with IMEI numbers and some warranty information. You can remove it, and I am gonna remove it. So guys, this is how the phone looks on the back. Now as it is white, it is pretty hard to show you how good it looks on the camera, but I guess you can see those lines. It does look pretty cool. Now this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a quick physical overview and then check out the complete specifications. On the back, this phone has a 3D curved fiberglass with a cool diagonal pattern. Samsung calls it the Prism Crush White, and when you look closely, you do get that prism effect. Now as this is a fiberglass, it is slippery and it's also a fingerprint magnet, but because of that white background, fingerprints aren't that visible. Now at the top, it is the camera module with 3 cameras followed by the single LED flash. That's followed by the Samsung branding, which is once again in white, and that's it. At the bottom, it is completely plain. Now on the front, you get that massive Super AMOLED Infinity V display. At the top, inside the notch, we have the front-facing camera. Above that, it has the earpiece. At the bottom, it is completely plain, and the chin is kinda big. Now for the sides, on the right side, it has the power and volume buttons made of plastic. They have a nice clicky feel to them, but they're slightly hard to press, and I wish they were slightly more elevated as well. At the top, it has just the secondary microphone for noise cancellation. On the left side, it has a SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. Finally, at the bottom, it has a 3.5mm audio jack followed by Type-C charging port, primary microphone, and a single speaker. Now with all these things packed together, this phone has a thickness of 7.8mm and weighs 166 grams. By the way, here's the SAR value. Initial impressions: phone doesn't look or feel all that thick. In fact, it looks and feels pretty sleek because of that 3D curve. It doesn't feel all that heavy either. Now before we move on to the specifications, let me just try out this case. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It is a slightly raised lip for the camera module, so it does protect your camera when you place your phone directly on its back. It has a bit of elevation. Even on the front, it has a slightly raised lip, but that's almost negligible. So I would never recommend you to place your phone directly on its face, especially with this case on. Now, it has all the cutouts. There is no flap for the charging port, just in case if you're wondering. And even with the case on, buttons are nice and clickable. This case can give you some extra grip and prevent smudges, and that's all. If you want some drop protection, get a better case. Last time for the A series, UAG made some pretty good looking cases, and they might make some for this as well, so check out their website. Now these are the complete specifications of the phone. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 25 megapixel primary camera with f1.7 aperture, followed by an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f2.2 aperture. Following that is a 5 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture used for depth sensing. That's to take portrait shots. For selfies, it is a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. On the front, it is a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED Infinity V display with HD Plus resolution with the new 19.5:9 aspect ratio. It kinda has thick bezels, so that gives it 84.9% screen to body ratio. Under the hood, it sports an Exynos 7904 processor with Mali G71 MP2 GPU. This is the same processor we have seen on the Samsung Galaxy A30. Finally, powering all this is a 4000 mAh battery that supports fast charging. So guys, those were the specifications. Now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. This is your default launcher. These are all the apps that come pre-installed. This is your app drawer. There is a tiny bit of bloatware, but you can install them. And if you don't use any of these applications, just uninstall them or disable them as soon as possible. Now with that said, let's check out the storage information. So guys, out of that 4GB of RAM, we get about 2GB of RAM free out of the box. And out of that 64GB of storage, we get about 48.9GB of space for our user apps and user data, which should be more than sufficient for most people. And this one also has a dedicated SD card slot, just in case if you need more storage. Now let's check out the about page. So this phone is running Samsung's One UI version 1.5 based on Android 9, that's Android Pie, and right out of the box, it is a other security patch, which is kinda okay. Now let's check out the camera interface. So this is the interface for the rear camera. It looks pretty similar to the previous Samsung phone, that's the A30. You have a toggle over here to switch between the primary camera and the wide angle camera. So you can do that to switch to the wide angle camera, and as you can see, it is super wide. Now we can also do a pinch to zoom gesture to switch between the primary camera and the wide angle camera. Once you're using the primary camera, do a pinch out gesture to switch to the wide angle camera. To switch to the primary camera, now you can do a pinch to zoom gesture, and now we are using the primary camera. Just a nice little trick. Now if we go to video recording, we can record video with the primary camera and the wide angle camera as well. As for resolution, we can record video at a maximum of 1080p resolution. That's Full HD. There is no 4K support on this phone, and there is no stabilization as well, I guess. I have to check for that. Next we have slow motion video recording. Now Samsung Galaxy M30s, which is sold at 14,000 rupees, comes with super slow motion and also has super steady mode for video recording, which is a feature missing on this phone. Now if we go to the left side, we have live focus mode, where we can take portrait shots of humans and objects. And on this phone, we can change the amount of background blur effect we want before taking a picture using the slider over here. Next we have Pro mode with decent options. Next we have Panorama and a dedicated mode for food, which just makes the colors pop out a bit more. So this is the interface for the front camera. It looks pretty similar to the previous Samsung phones. Once again, we have a toggle over here to switch between the crop mode and the full wide angle front camera. Usually for selfies, I prefer this mode. Now for video recording, we can record video at 1080p resolution using the front camera. Now if we go to the left side, we have live focus mode, that's portrait selfies. On this phone, we can also change the amount of background blur effect you want before taking a portrait selfie, which is a pretty unique feature, and most phones usually don't give you this feature. So guys, that's the camera interface, and now these are some sample pictures. Now let's check out the speaker loudness. So guys, speaker on this phone is good. It is loud but not super loud. It is sufficient for regular media consumption, ringtones and alarms. But when it comes to speaker loudness, it isn't all that impressive. It's like average or just okay. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up. So here we go. This phone has an in-display fingerprint scanner and I'm hoping it would be better than the previous generation. So let me just quickly tweak a setting to see the fingerprint scanner all the time. So for some reason we can't see the fingerprint scanner unless we go to the lock screen. And fingerprint scanner is kind of slow. It's probably as fast as Samsung A30, but it's not really that usable. Many phones in this price segment, especially the Realme X, had an incredibly fast fingerprint scanner. And compared to that, this is just pretty bad. So guys, that was fingerprint scanner. It works and it is usable, but it is slow. Now let's test face unlock feature. Once again, I've already set it up. And there you go. Face unlock works pretty fast. It's not as fast as the Oppo and Vivo phones, but still it is way faster than the fingerprint scanner. I'd probably end up using face unlock more than fingerprint scanner. So guys, that was face unlock in good lighting conditions. Now let me just turn off the big lights and see how it performs in low lighting conditions. Even in low lighting conditions, it is pretty fast. Almost as fast as good lighting conditions and definitely usable. Now I've turned off all the lights. Let's see if it works. And even in complete darkness, it works and it is kind of fast. Definitely usable. By the way guys, I'm not wearing my glasses, so if you're wearing glasses, it might be a bit slower. Let's try it out in low lighting conditions. With glasses on, it still works. So that's pretty cool. So let's test it once again in good lighting conditions with my glasses on. And even in good lighting conditions, it works and it is pretty fast. Not as fast as before though. So guys, that was the face unlock feature. Now before I conclude, these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, this is the Samsung Galaxy A30s in the Prism Crush White and it does look quite premium. Initial impressions, phone feels pretty sleek in hand, it doesn't fade all that much either. Even in terms of performance, it seems to be pretty smooth. Now for a quick comparison with the Samsung A30, this phone definitely has a slightly better build and the back definitely looks much more premium. Besides the physical difference, both phones came with a Super AMOLED display. Samsung A30 had a Full HD resolution, while this one over here has just HD resolution. That's pretty good, it has its own advantages, but at a price tag of 17,000 rupees, Full HD would have been great. That's the one place where this phone took a great hit. Besides that, both phones come with the same processor, and on side-by-side comparison, this phone will perform slightly better because of HD resolution. It's not a great thing to brag about. When it's an iteration or when it's an upgrade, they should have given us a slightly improvement in performance as well. Instead, they dropped down the resolution. Anyway, next, this one also has an extra 5MP camera for depth sensing, so you get better portrait shots on this phone when compared to the A30. Now the final major change would be the fingerprint scanner. A30 has had a fingerprint scanner on the back, while this phone has an in-display fingerprint scanner. So you can consider it as a major upgrade, but as I've said, in-display fingerprint scanner is not super fast. Not as fast as Oppo and Vivo phones, not even as fast as the Realme X. So it works and it is usable, but not fast. Probably as fast as a Samsung A50. At a price tag of 17,000 rupees, this phone is definitely not a good pick. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description, it always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.